Hi guys, CNC made another machine. This one's called the X-WE-Pro. We've reviewed the X-WE. Now we're gonna do a side-by-side comparison of CNC's brand new X-WE-Pro compared to the X-WE. Let's check them out. Don't forget to smash that like button. Okay, here is the X-WE-Pro. It is packaged nicely by CNC. Thank you, CNC, for sending us your machines to review. All right, it comes with the tool set. I'm guessing it comes with the tool set because of the replaceable parts in this model, which I will show you. Revolutionary changes to the chaos. All right, let's just open the tools first. We don't want to open them last. All right, so in the toolkit, you've got USB charger and these replaceable wheels. Looks like a couple little screws, tiny little parts there, and some rubber bands and the Allen wrenches. The X-WE Plus without pedal in package. Pedal not included, thank you. Very large manual, very large. That is, can you guys even see all of this? Or is it bigger than the screen? It's probably bigger than the screen. It is a large manual with everything you want to know about the X-WE Plus compared to the X-WE. How wonderful, since that's what this episode is about. All right. Oh, look, it comes with 2 batteries. That's nice. All right, here is the X-WE Pro. Both the X-WE Pro and the X-WE are 3.5 millimeters. I'm just gonna pop this on. Whoa! I wasn't even trying. It just kind of went on there. All right, so it's got a pretty good magnet in it. Yeah, a really good magnet, actually. All right, so it's very easy. The length is interesting. It's longer, right? Yeah, it's longer. There is a length difference between the X-WE and the X-WE Pro. Here it is. Pro, original. Look at the battery though here and the controls on the battery. That does catch my eye. One of the things I didn't like about the WE, about the X-WE, is just how hard these buttons were to press. Just a little pet peeve on that one. So let's see how they've improved on that. Should probably pop a needle on it. But before we do that, let's look at the display here. Wow, nice, big LCD panel. Definitely different than the original. Original is just an LED indicator. So this one actually has a little screen on it. That is something the regular X-WE does not have. So that's an upgrade. We have these 0.1 increments. That's definitely nice. Where we have on that original WE battery, if you recall. And here we have that original X-WE. So you can see that display actually has voltages. That's kind of nice. No, just kidding, CNC. The color coding was cool, but I like knowing the exact voltage that I'm on so I can replicate it, and I like having the 0.1 increments so that I have a little more control over my machine. So definitely improvement. Maybe that's why it's a little bit longer. In reality, it is only 153 millimeters in length, and the original X-WE is 141. So it's only 10-12 millimeters difference. Not the biggest, it's about a centimeter difference. Another big difference is that the battery capacity for the CNC-X-WE-Pro is 1,000 milliamps and the original is 900. It's 10% more. They do list the motor as being stronger as the original X-WE. We don't have the listed watts, but that's okay. 5 to 11 volts was the original voltage range of the X-WE. The X-WE-Pro is 5 to 12 volts. That does show a higher power motor probably runs the Pro. So they have the X-WE listed as 0.5 volt jumps compared to this 0.1 volt increment. So that's the difference. I didn't mention the difference in quantity, but that's the difference there. And then the big thing is that the stroke length can be altered as well using this other stroke wheel, which you see here. Reminds me a little bit of the cams in the Numa, but you can actually change the stroke length of the X-WE-Pro. So you have a 3, a 3.5, and a 4 millimeter stroke length. So that's kind of different and definitely worth doing a little review on. And the motors, what about the motors? So we don't have the wattage, but the WE versus the WE-Pro. The WE-Pro has the X2 German motor, and the original they're calling the X1 German motor. Obviously the X2 is a little stronger because it has a wider operating voltage range, and it's supposed to decrease the vibration of the machine altogether as well. And lastly, the weights. The original X-WE is 176 grams, and the X-WE-Pro is 188 grams. The weight distribution is still at the tip, despite the long length. I'm wondering if the weight difference is just from the batteries. Let me pull out my scale. I'll just read you the numbers here. This is the X-WE. Okay, it's about 138 for the X-WE. This one's 135. Yeah, they lighten the grip slightly. Interesting. Maybe to compensate for the larger battery. Here I have this rain cartridge, also made by CNC, and thank you for that. This is a 9 round liner and a 12 gauge. I like to use these needles during these demos. They're a little larger. Needle depth works the same way on this machine. Really easy dial. Let's compare that to the X-WE now. Pop on the same needle. First of all, that hurt my thumb just turning it on. I definitely feel like there's more vibration in the, and we are at a green. Who knows what that is? Or we're at a blue now. And bluish green, green. There's so many colors. My eyes can't even really differentiate the colors. And it jumps half 0.5 increment voltages. Hard to use, a little hard to use with my fingers on that battery. But let's just immediately go back to the other one now. Remember that sound we were just hearing? How's it compared to this sound? Yeah, so it's the new, the new X-WE-Pro is definitely quieter. Definitely seems to have less vibration. Still a little bit of vibration in the grip here, but I'm sure we can fix that with a little bit of grip tape or My handy dandy Neo grips. Boom! So we're gonna plop that on there. One hold and one tap for on. Cool. Yeah, so it's definitely quieter. There's definitely less vibration, but does it run better? Let's try it out. Okay, for our side-by-side silicone test, I think it's wise to just compare the 3.5 millimeter stroke on each machine. Here is the 3 and the 4 millimeter stroke wheels that we will show how to put into the new X-WE-Pro to alter the stroke length. However, for this side-by-side comparison, again, we're just going to stick with the 3.5, which is now in the machine. Got a couple pieces of silicone. Got the 9-round liner. This is the X-WE-Pro. Okay, I'm at a 9 volt. Seems like it's going in. Take a little peek here. It does feel like, since it's a lighter pen, that it is bouncing off the silicone a little bit for lining. That's why I like to start with the 9-round liner, because it's a higher needle grouping and it takes a little more to get it in. Maybe that would be a good time to switch over the Pro to the 4 millimeter cam if you want to get more of a hit. So with machines like this, you might have to just slow down your hand speed a little bit too. Flip-flopping back and forth ain't easy, but I feel like I need to do that to compare. Not too much of a difference. Okay, now that I'm at the proper voltage to compare them, I think they look a little more similar. I'm gonna keep playing. Okay, so I'm just playing around here doing a bunch of little lines on my silicone, and what I'm feeling is that the X-WE-Pro and the X-WE are pretty similar in the 3.5 millimeter stroke length for their lining. I'm gonna pop on the 4 millimeter stroke on the new X-WE-Pro to see if it gives it that much more of a punch. So in order to do that, we're first going to disassemble our machine. I meant to take that off first. Then my battery. Just going to show you how easy that is again. All right, so we unscrewed the grip. This is separate from this portion here. You take that grip off, the part that you sterilize, and now you have the motor in two parts here. We have the wheel on one side, and over here is the part that the grip goes over. So this is your wheel here that controls the stroke length. So you have the stroke disc and the slot down at the bottom. You just want to loosen the screw on the inside here and disassemble the stroke wheel from the shaft. So some tiny parts to this one in order to change the stroke length. And the screw bit goes with it, looks like. Okay. That's a 3. We don't want that one. That's one. The 3mm would be more for like shading, light shading. Trying to get the 4 out, see if it can give us a better, harder hit on this line. Here's the 4. So just loosen a little, put it on the shaft there, and then tighten up that screw again. Pretty easy. I'm gonna combine these together again here. All right, not too hard. It's not touching anything, I can tell. Okay, maybe it is a little tricky. That made it like 50 times harder to put this on the right spot. And now it works. All right. We're now at a 10 volt with a 4mm stroke length. Let's see. I'll just put a little dot in between. Ooh, I can already feel it's getting a little harder hit here. Yeah, that helped a lot. So it seems like their alternating stroke lengths actually do create a better hit there. I do feel like the lines look a little more even with the density of the needle. Like all of a sudden these lines look thicker. They shouldn't. It's the same number of needles per line. Little wobbly to start there too, although I just had to ramp it up to a higher voltage to get straighter. But yeah, definitely better penetration with the 4mm stroke. So if you're lining with the X-WE-Pro, you will definitely want to use that 4mm stroke. So it is helpful. Good upgrade. I'm gonna try going a little down. I do feel like, again, with these less expensive machines, you do have to run them at higher voltages to get good lines. Unfortunately, there is no way around that except for buying a bigger motor, which just costs more. So with these more fairly priced machines, they're still efficient, but you might have to work a little slower. You might have to slow down your hand speed a bit, and you'll have to work at higher voltages, which means that your battery might run out a little bit earlier. So just keep all that in mind when committing to a machine, compared to what kind of work you're doing, how often, how big. If you're just getting your start in tattooing, this is a perfect machine. The longer battery doesn't bother me too much. It doesn't displace the weight too badly because it's a pretty light battery to begin with, but also the grip is heavier. So you still have the weight distribution more at the tip, or maybe more towards the middle, right here. I'm getting line happy here. I've done a lot of lines here. I typically get the best feel for something when I'm trying to make a straight line. Freehand. Okay. Let's try drawing a bit with it. I do feel I have to go up a little bit past a 9. Working pretty fast there. I think that that be a little patchy. I do think working with the WE, you have to be a little more patient. It is going to take a little longer to get your lines saturated. Let's just try slowing it down here a little bit. Try that same thing at a So where do you go from there? I went to a lower voltage. I can go to a higher voltage, but now we're gonna really want to actually tattoo people at this voltage right here. That's pretty high. So the human skin has tiny little vessels in it that explode when you use too high of a voltage on it. You can see them as you tattoo in a high voltage. So if you have to run this thing at higher voltages to get your one pass lines, you might end up doing a little more damage to the skin. My suggestion would be to go with the lower voltages and just slow down and maybe do a couple passes if you need to. Okay, that concludes my review and comparison of the X-WE to the new X-WE-Pro. If you want to find the X-WE-Pro, it's on Amazon with a 20% discount right now. Just follow a link in the description below. And don't forget, once a month, I have my artist critique contest where you have a chance to win a free tattoo machine, maybe even one of these. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Bye guys.
Thank you. Bye.